Welcome back, everybody, wherever you're watching out there, from the coasts of Puerto Rico to the offshore paradise that is Piha Beach, to the Dev-astation event. I'm here with your boy, Jacob Pearson.
That's right, it's your boy Jacob Pearson here again in the commentary booth. I suppose it's not here again, it's my first time here in the commentary booth, but hey, that's alright. We've got an awesome matchup for you guys today. Chane versus Azalea.
That's right, and if you didn't know, hello, my name's Chris Bewley. Here we are, we've got Jason Chung on the left playing Chane, and on the right side of your screen, Newsun playing everybody's favourite ranger, Azalea.
Some might say the underdog of Fab, as you were. She does come from the pits. She's coming in from below. She's looking to shoot some red in the ledges at this Chane, limit him down to one action point, and hopefully lock him out to his own blood debt.
Absolutely, yeah. So, of course, Chane is looking to make use of as many action points as reasonably possible per turn. Azalea's got a few tricks up her sleeve to try and put a bit of a stop to this plan.
Absolutely. We know from Jason's list that he's very, very, very light on defense reactions, only having 2 Guardian of the Shadow Realms to stop those dominated arrows. If Newson's able to get some powerful stun effect arrows into his arsenal early and fire them off against Chane, I can easily see this swinging Azalea's way. What do you think, Chris?
Absolutely, yeah, I couldn't agree any more with you, your boy Jacob Pearson. Newson's deck is very, very aggressive. However, so many of these almost all red line attacks have on-hit effects. Things that are going to restrict Jason's action points to as few as possible.
Absolutely. Looking at Newson's list, we see he plays Sleep Darts. That means no Soul Shackles for Chane. We see he plays the powerful card known as Red in the Ledger, which means he's limited to 1 action point. We see he plays stuff like Remorseless, which forces Chane to lose life for every card they want to play in their turn. So many awesome stun effects coming over from Newson's side of the play. I'm really excited to see what happens this. Hopefully he's able to dethrone my... I guess you would almost call him my arch nemesis, Jason, here, after he knocked me out in the first round, punting me off on my dash deck. That's alright. I'd like to see Newsun get some revenge for me.
Yeah, I can understand why you may or may not be cheering for Newsun in this matchup here. It looks like Newsun won the roll with a high roll of 10 dots on the dice. So is he going to be starting or drawing, do you think?
I think he's just going to want to start here. He's just going to want to blind Azalea to hopefully hit a powerful dominate arrow off the top of his deck. Ideally with some sort of pump in his opening hand, so he gets to force through a couple of extra points of damage, and then leave Jason with a stunned turn. If I say stun, I'm just referencing any of the arrows in Newson's deck with on-hit effects.
Yeah, so Jason's shuffling up now. We've got, well, of course, in our classic constructed formats, the players have a lot of freedom to adapt and change their deck for the matchup. Are there any key equipments or cards that Jason could be using to sort of put a stop in Newson's plan?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I mentioned before, Jason is pretty light on defense reactions. However, something unique to Jason's list that we really haven't seen in any of the typical Chane lists this construction season is those 2 copies of the Guardian of the Shadow Realm, which is a 2 cost, 6 defense reaction that he can grab back from his banish zone and keep recycling that against Jason's arrows if he feels like he needs to go for a bit of a longer game strategy.
Yeah, it takes Jason's pseudo extra cards in hand, which are hanging out in the banish zone, to another level, because that amazing defense reaction will be bouncing in between the banish zone, his hand, and probably the arsenal.
I dare say so, Chris. Alright, Newson's just starting off with a nice Ridge Rider shot in his arsenal. Death dealing that into play, he gets his juicy little opt 1. Unfortunately, not a really big arrow. Newson's probably going to look for something to dominate off the top of his deck. Yeah, we see him just putting it off to the side there. He's just tanking on what kind of effect he's going for. I think Newsun leaves any detrimental effect on top of his deck here, which means it's probably some kind of hump that's on top of his deck. And we're probably going to see him blind Azalea off the top of his deck. Don't be scared, guys. When you're playing the underdog ranger, sometimes it's just correct to roll the dice, flip the top card of your deck into your arsenal and just pray it's an arrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Newson's got quite a critical mass of cards that he can almost blind hit into. So He's done reasonably well with this one.
Not bad, not bad. He was really looking for an arrow though there. If he could have found a Remorseless or a Ridden Ledger or something like that off the top of his deck, it would effectively shut down the entirety of Jason's first turn, which would have been a very, very powerful start. Unfortunately, that's the price you pay sometimes for rolling the dice. You're not always going to get everything you want. So we're probably just going to see Newsun come in for 7 here, leave the take aim in his arsenal, and then hope to get some arrows off next turn. Yeah, we see Jason just throw his hand in front of the Sea Strike here.
Yeah, so Jason has used 3 cards to block this one, which of course is not leaving him with much to really do, quote unquote, for this upcoming turn. And it looks like...
Well, he gets to draw up because it's his first turn. But yeah, definitely a fair point there, Chris, that Jason's not really looking to go long in this matchup, so he's pretty freely throwing cards away because he knows he's probably not going to get to that point with the amount of Soul Shackles. He's seen Newson's list. He knows he plays a very red line aggro deck. This game's probably only going to last a couple of turns, I'd imagine.
Most of the Chane decks that we have seen out in the wild up until this point have been really looking to attack action as much as possible, but Jason's list is a little bit different. How is this going to play out against a sort of traditional aggro style, which Newson's bringing to the table?
I guess Jason's Chane deck is much more quote-unquote combo-orientated, where he's trying to assemble these massive turns with all these non-attack actions. We see all the copies of Dimensional Crossroad, the Gorgonian Tome, all the Seeping Shadows, well, not all of them, but some Seeping Shadows, all the Seeds, a lot of non-attack actions, and he's hoping just to build up these massive turns. Unlike the typical Chane decks we've seen thus far, which plays things such as Command and Conquer and E-Strike. So we're probably just going to see Jason throw back against a Ranger deck with a couple of attacks. I don't imagine Newson's going to do too much blocking here. I think he's just going to want to try and pump as much damage as humanly possible just to get Chane under a bit of pressure.
Yeah, it's one of those blessing and curse type of things when you're playing a deck that wants to be as aggro AF as possible. So yeah, Newsun, he can't block too much, and it's you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I'm pretty sure he's going to find a way to balance that and push through as much damage and on-hit effects as possible.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, all of Jason's damage, for the most part, is just vanilla damage. That's all it is, just raw, straight damage. No real detrimental effects from his on-hits. Whereas Newsun can pump out a similar level of damage, but have some nasty on-hit effects.
There we see Jason's favourite card in Flesh and Blood, Tome of Torment.
Tome of Torment. Now, this is a bit of a sleeper card. A lot of players do not play this card. I don't think I've seen a single copy in any of the CC lists, either for Leviah or Chane, that play this card. The card is very, very powerful at fixing hands, enabling Seeping Shadows turns, and it's just very, very, very versatile in a lot of different ways because of your ability to Soul Shackle. Even in Leviah, with Scabskins, they're very good to have in your banner zone, so that time when you roll a 6 on Scabbies, you're typically not able to use your action points. Well, now you are. You got some extra cards in your hand ready to dish out those big, fat stacks of damage, which we're seeing a similar thing happen now with Jason.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty stacked fat damage stack coming at him.
Oh, well, that was some nice rhyming there, mate. I appreciate it. That's some quality linguistics for you.
Well, hey, you set him up, I knock him down, and it looks like Jason's starting to knock a few points down off Newson's life total as he drops a few off of him, and now he's coming in with the Blade.
Yeah, Nebula Blade attacking for 4 here. Jason has fulfilled the requirement for the extra +3. Very interesting to note, Jason choosing not to play either the new Galaxy Black or the old Reaping Blade, bringing back the classic Nebula Blade. I know that this was out of favor with a lot of Rune Blade decks for a long time, but nice to see it making a bit of a comeback here. Alright, Newsun starting off strong with a Ravenous Rabble. He sees a red Nimblism on top of his deck. Very, very strong, because he's probably going to be able to fire off this take aim, use Death Dealer, put that Nimblism into his hand, slam that Nimblism down again, and then blind Azalea, hopefully hit a big arrow, and it's going to be a very big arrow. We're talking at least +6 with that Nimblism in his hand.
Yeah, Nimblism, pretty awesome card. It fits with so many of the things Azalea's trying to do. And
oh no, he doesn't have it. He's already got an arrow in the arsenal. I thought it was another pump in his arsenal. But it looks like he's just going to fire off with a second shot, I believe that is, which is a go again arrow. And he sends that Nimblism to the bottom, probably searching for some sort of detrimental on-hit arrow to try and stun the Chane player.
Yeah, the damage from Ravenous Rabble is always a good time. And of course, you get to have a look at that top card We saw Newsun put it to the bottom. But these little red line attacks add up, and of course, go again is a very good thing to do and have in these Azalea decks.
Yeah, just the ability to go wide is very important, as well as tall. That's the thing I like about Newson's deck. It's a bit more of a hybrid Azalea deck. It's got all these go wide attacks, but it's also got a lot of the go tall pump, so it can kind of take whichever avenue it needs in order to try and edge out a win. Alright, we see Jason just tanking on his blocks a little bit here. It's a very powerful hand. He's got a Shadow Puppetry. I believe I saw a Rip Through Reality and a Shadow of Ursa. Depending on what he hits off his Soul Shackle on his turn, it's a very, very strong hand. He's going to be able to pump out a lot of damage. I don't really imagine that Jason's going to be blocking here. I think we see him just take all of the damage.
Nice, yeah, he's probably looking to get that Rip Through Reality going on. And it's another card that is quite synonymous with cards Jason play, which you may not see a lot of out in the deck lists in the real world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't imagine that Newson's going to prevent this rune chant that Jason has in play. You think, yeah, he's just going to start off with a Dimensional Crossroads. So he's going to flip a card off the top of his deck. If it's a Shadow Runeblade card, it's going to be banished and ping Newsun for 1 arcane damage. Now, typically, a lot of players don't prevent this because they're not really thinking too much about Rip Through Reality. We have the benefit in the commentary booth of being able to see Jason's hand and know that he has Rip Through Reality, but Newsun, it's going to be very interesting to see whether he plays around it. Because in Newson's deck, it doesn't play a lot of blue resource cards. Pitching to prevent arcane damage is really not where you want to be when you're playing the Azalea side.
Absolutely, yeah, of course, whether it's blocking or preventing arcane damage, any card that Newsun is not attacking with is going to, well, basically have him not attack so much the next turn, as we all know.
Yeah, absolutely. And he has to dedicate a whole card to it as well. He has to dedicate a whole card to preventing 1 damage. Now, that is not an efficient rate.
Not at all. Now, we have a go again coming into play from the Shackles, and it looks like 1 arcane in the AR, followed by the Blade.
Yep, the Blade coming in for 4 there, threatening another rune chant if he lets it hit. Yeah, like I said before, I just don't imagine a world here where Newsun wants to block. He just really wants to threaten big turns, especially at the start of the game where Chane has so few Soul Shackles and isn't able to pump out as much damage. Because remember, guys, as the game goes on and Chane builds up that pile of Soul Shackles, he's just going to be continually dealing more and more damage every single turn. So a lot of these racing scenarios, you're better off racing from turn 1. Newsun probably has too many arrows in his hand, opting to block with a headshot here. That's also the problem that Azalea often runs into in these sort of race type scenarios is if you draw hands with too many arrows, you're not able to efficiently attack with them all.
Yeah, so Jason's arsenal to the end of
Oh
the
my god,
We've
Chris.
seen that Art of War.
That was 2 Art of Wars.
Damn, don't tell me we're going to see yet another double AOW.
Wait, is that a Sonata? That's 2 Art of Wars and a Sonata in Jason's hand. I think he could actually kill Newsun on his next turn.
I feel like
if he gets lucky on his Soul Shackles, if he hits well on those Soul Shackles, he hits well for his Art of War draws, times his Art of Wars correctly, I can easily see him killing Newsun on his turn. Newsun really needs to have a Remorseless or a Red in the Ledger here to have any shot at this upcoming turn, or it's going to be nasty.
Yeah, so here's the second attack for Newsun coming in this turn. Is it going to be enough for him to mitigate the things that he does not know are coming the next wave? So
yeah, like there's no way Jason ever blocks anything. Newsun has to have a high threat arrow, like 100%. If he does not have a high threat arrow this turn, I feel like he almost loses the game on the spot. That's how bad, disgustingly gross Jason's turn's gonna be with those 2 Art of Wars and that Sonata.
Yeah, even without the knowledge, which of course Newsun does not have of these double Art of Wars, just that snowball effect of shackle after shackle eventually is going to build up. Art of Wars is just a disgusting off-red cherry on the top.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the nastiest cards that Chane has in his arsenal. If Chane manages to draw them rather than banish them, say goodbye to your life total. Alright, we see him coming in with a middling arrow here, a hamstring shot. This gives the Chane player a 1 resource tax if it hits, saying his next, I believe it's next action card costs 1 more. It might be attack action. Can't quite remember properly. But he's going to have to pay an extra resource for his stuff. Not really going to affect Jason too much, as he has a blue alongside those two Art of Wars and Sonata. He's able to pay for everything in his hand currently.
Yeah, and that's just another theme with this whole chain deck and resource management. You can have something that you might need to pay for next turn from the hand, but the card's going into
he hits a Seeds of Agony and a Seeping Shadows off his Soul Shackles. There's some premium hits. I'm not feeling too good about Newson's chances here. Sonata coming down. Will he whiff? Newson really needs him to... Oh, it's not a whiff. Oh.
We've got a Seeds, and
it's
it
a
looks
Rift
like
Bind.
a puppetry at least. A Rift Bind coming in. Now, this is absolute, massively positive evidence again for Chane's extension of the hand in the form of the banish.
He's going to be able to banish that with his Art of Wars too. He's going to be able to pitch the blue Plunder Run that's in his hand.
This is what the kids call going off.
Yeah, this is going to be popping off. I imagine Jason's probably going to tank a lot on this turn to try and optimize the amount of damage he's going to be dealing. It's very complex when your hand is effectively 8, 9, 10 cards. Sometimes when you're playing Chane, to work out the optimal line just gives so much going on. Oh, we see another Sonata! Another Sonata from Jason. Oh my, this is almost unreal. Yeah, we see Jason just putting his non-attack action cards that he's played off to one side this turn, just so Newsun is able to see. And something interesting as well, he's chosen +1 on the Art of War, which means that all his attack actions got +1. He's seen the Seeping Shadows in his banish zone and just said, look, I've got enough go again, I just want to get some extra damage through. Oh man. Absolutely disgusting play from Jason here with the second Sonata coming down.
It's a real embarrassment of riches Jason's got to choose from here.
Yep, he gets a rip through reality. That's going to have go again because his Sonatas have pinged Newsun when he's played them. For those of you who don't know, Sonata says if you're not going to pay anything into it, so if you play it for 0, it reveals the top 3 cards of your deck. If you, for each attack and non-attack action you reveal, you may put an attack into your hand. Deal 1 arcane damage for each card put into your hand this way. So every time he plays one, he gets an attack into his hand, he gets to ping Newsun for 1, he gets to power up his Riftbind by 1. It does it all.
There is that second Art of War coming out, and he's back.
+2!
He's got +2 on all of these attacks.
Oh my god.
His Riftbind, which he's got a dice representing 2, so that's already got a +2 attack coming in for the turn.
Yep.
As predicted, it's getting hot in here. Shout out to Nelly for that one.
Oh my god. He's got another... He's got Rip Through Reality. He's got a Riftbind. He's got a Seeds. He's got it all. This is... I feel like Newsun might even die this turn. If it's not this turn, he's going to lose his whole hand, and he's going to be dropped so low that I can't see a way out of this for Newsun.
Yeah, Newson's tempo will be knocked right to the back of the cliff, and Jason's just going to keep climbing up the mountaintop there. He's coming in with the Rift. It does have to go again, as Jacob said, and Jacob's just... Jason's planning on what's coming next.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of decisions to make here. I mean, look at this board state. It's very complex playing this from Jason's side. We see a second Rip Through Reality come down for Jason. Oh my god. Now you see the dangers of letting Chane deal you some arcane damage, getting all those free go-agains on those Rip Through Realities.
Yeah, and things are just getting started for this turn, even though it's been about 46 minutes already. We've
yeah.
got 2 resource points left in the pool, ready to go.
Yep. And remember, guys, those rips are coming in for 6 apiece because of those 2 Art of Wars. He still has his Arcanic Ironweave to generate another 2 resources. So, at the very least, he's going to be able to play his Seeds, play his Riftbind, attack with Nebula Blade, at the very least, to follow this up. But I feel like Jason might even have something more spicy than that. Yep, so we see him make a Soul Shackle. Yep, here comes the Blade. Blade's coming in for 4, no resources left, but he's still got that Iron Weave. Oh, this just represents so much damage.
Yeah, Newson's already undertaken a 2-card block, so setting himself up for a big attack next turn is not looking so good at the moment. He may have to even block with more cards here, which is really going to knock him down this said tempo mountain.
Yeah, oh, this is so brutal. Newsun wasn't even really able to have any real turns this game. The Jason's draws have just been absolutely absurd this game. Yet we see Newsun trading a Skull and Cross Wrap. He says, yep, I know this game's not going to last much longer. I'm going to trade in my equipment now just to prevent the 1 damage from Nebula and the on-hit effect. Yep, we see the Seeds come down. So that's non-attack action number 3, I believe, for Jason. Yep, it represented by the 3 on the dice there. So... Oh, and he's got the Shadow Puppetry as well.
Little punch
He has-
coming in. Adding
he's got
another
everything.
point of damage.
That's 7, 8, 9. That's a Riftbind for 10. If it hits, he gets to banish the top card of his deck. Madness.
So Newson's got one card left in the hand, and of course it looks like an Enlightened Strike in the arsenal, which will not be blocking at all.
I almost can't believe this turn, Chris. This is turn 3.
Turn 3, Newson's been knocked down to 11 already. Jason's taken a little bit of chip damage, but for good reason. This has been the result of that.
Yep, Newson's opting to take it all. He drops to 2.
And it might be too little.
And he hits a red bounding demigod off the top with Shadow Puppetry. And he's got the go again.
He's got the go
This is coming
again.
in for 6.
There's 6 more.
Newson's got 1 card in hand. He's got Tunic. This is lethal. This is a turn 3 kill in Classic Constructed.
This is unprecedented. And there's that last card.
He's
Scar
got-
for a scar for the block. Tunic on top.
And that's it. Yep, that's it. It's not a block for 3. It's only a block for 2. And Newson falls to exactly 0.
He shows the strike.
Whoa.
He says, yeah, you're right. It was not a sink below or anything even close. There wasn't too much Newson could really do with this once
Those
attacks started
draws
coming.
were just crazy from Jason. No matter who Jason's opponent was that round, I believe that. Yeah, there's no coming back from that. That was some absolutely absurd draws from Jason. Well, next round he'll be up against Carol, and hopefully Carol will be able to take him out there. Thank you for tuning in, guys. See you soon.